Alright, I've been putting this thing off for a while now. It's been about 2 weeks, and it's finally time to start digging into it again. So last video, you guys saw me pick this thing up for $1,400. It's a Polaris Sportsman 400 4x4 with a winch and plow. Tires are really nice on it. Everything works on it pretty good. The only thing that doesn't is the CV axle. So when I got this thing, the CV axle was broken on it. And we tried last video to get this thing out for probably 4 hours, and it would not budge out of the differential here. You can see it just spins in there. And we tried using a slide hammer. We tried prying it out. Nothing would work. So today, I think what we're going to have to do is split the differential in half and press it out with our press. Press out that axle with our press. That's basically the only way I can think of getting that thing out. We let it soak with penetrating oil overnight. It still didn't budge. So that was one problem. The other problem with this thing was the belt. The belt is super stretched on this. It is super worn. So when going up hills, this thing would have zero power. We mowed about an acre of grass last video with this thing, and it just did not have the power it should have going uphill or pulling. So I'm thinking the belt was the issue. So we ordered up a new one right here. You have to be careful ordering belts online, because a lot of them are crappy. Here's the belt we ordered. I'm hoping that's going to do the trick. The reviews on it were pretty good, so we'll see if that works. And then we have the CV axle here. If we can get it out, we can replace the CV axle. Once we have those two things fixed, this thing should be pretty much good to go. So I've been dreading doing this because I know that CV axle is going to be tough, but we're not giving up until it's out. So let's begin. Alright, let's begin by replacing this belt. It'll be interesting to compare the two belts and see how stretched it is. So to get the cover off, we need to take off the footwell here and the cover right here, along with this tube right here that it connects to. So typically, this is 3/8 socket. Get these out. This foot come out of here. Oh, there we go. Difficult. There we go. Alright, now we can get the clutch cover off here. Alright, let's see how loose this belt is. I think I can just take it right off of here. Yeah, hell, look at that. I don't think you're supposed to be able to do that. You can see a couple of rips in there. You can see it's all dry rotted. It's all cracking. It's not like horrible, but it's not great. You can see outer belt's all cracking. Here's the new one. I'm going to compare it to. See the size difference here. See if it was in fact stretched. It's not like that bad. Maybe it's just really worn down. See if this one's tighter. This one can go on. Could be a worn out clutch as well. Yeah, that just goes right on too. I don't know if it's supposed to do that. Seems too easy. Alright, that's on. We'll see if that makes a difference. Alright, belt is all changed out, ready to go. On to the CV axle. So we're going to jack this thing up. We're going to try a couple different methods. And then if we can't get it, we're going to try to take out the other CV axle and take out the diff. And hopefully split the diff and then push one of the axles through. There isn't a passageway to get from this axle to the other one, only in the rear. So you can't take out that axle over there and take a rod and push this one through. You have to take apart the whole differential to do that. There's two separate pockets for the axles. The axle. Cotter pin. I believe that's we'll just palm it off with a hammer. And go. I'll get this tied out of the way. I can kind of pull this off to the side here. See what it feels like. Alright, so we're gonna get the slide hammer in there again, see if it'll come out this time. We let it soak with penetrating oil. Alright, we've got our slide hammer set up here. What we're gonna do is spin this, push in, and then use the slide hammer to push out. So we can spin this in different positions, and hopefully one way that pin will come out. That's kind of what we're hoping. I saw a guy on YouTube doing this, and he said that if you just try to pry it out, the pin will get squished and wreck it, and then it will never come out. But if you try to go in different positions, sometimes that pin is stuck in one position and not the other position. So we'll try to rotate this around and use the slide hammer, push in, then out. So here we go. See, it didn't do anything. Push in, out. Push in, out, while rotating this over. Push in, out, and out. Let's try down here. See that one? That one kind of came. See, that one's getting stuck. Nope. In and out. Ow. Youch. Ooh. Big flap of skin. Youch, ouch. That one hurt. That one really hurt. I did it already twice in the sand. Yo, one right there, one right there. Whew. That's stinging. Alright, we've been going at this for about an hour. We got this little pry bar in here. And we tried to use that to pry it out as well. But that's not working either. Just quick show you. Pound that pry bar in there. Nothing is working at this point. So I think we're gonna have to take the other side off, try to get that differential out of there, and split that. I think that's the only way we're getting this thing out. All right, let's get this side off here. See if this CV axle will come out. Pin. There we go. Okay. Another cotter pin underneath here. This. Stuck cotter pin out. Gonna get the I'm guessing no. Alright, let's see here. See if she'll pull out. Doubt it. That one's stuck too. Darn it. That's no good. We're twisting it while prying. Nothing. So I'm hoping we can get the differential out with that in there still. A little bit worried about, I don't know where it's going to come out of, because you can't go forward with it. You can't really go back because we have the axle connected. How is that going to come out of there if we can't get the axles out? I do not know. This might be a little tricky. be a little tricky. Wish we could get this axle out, then we could get the differential out. That sucks. Can't believe both of them are stuck. Come on. Stupid thing. Not budging. Alright, so both axles are stuck in place. Got a wrench in here. Not a whole lot of room to work. Alright, hopefully that can come out. Now we gotta get the wrench in from the other side. Be a little tricky. Got that bolt out. Alright, you can see the shaft in here. It's almost off. You can see the splines right there. Once we get the differential free, that should free up there. And underneath here are a couple bolts. You can see for the differential holding it on. Those 4 bolts hold the differential on. And I think the 2 down there also do. Let's see. Yeah, 2 down there. So just these 4. Those 2 and those 2. So let's get those out. Let's see. I hope they don't break off. That's my biggest worry here. Oh man. Those are stuck in there. That one came out. All the bolts are out. That was not super easy. The differential should be loose in here now. Oh yeah. Now we should be able to move it a little bit. You can see it moves just a little bit. Now the question is, how do we get it up? Let's see if I can knock off this shaft right here. Alright, this coolant line right here is kind of in the way of getting this thing out. A lot more is in the way, but that definitely is in the way. I'm thinking we're going to have to cut this bracket out of here and then weld it back in place. Is what I'm going to probably have to do. This one right here. So cut it right there, and then weld it back in place. Let's see if I can get it off. start pouring out here. Pouring out of here, making a mess. Now that I'm looking at it, the bracket where the fan attaches to might come off, so this whole front end might come off the quad. So we could probably take the front end off and slide the differential out that way, I'm thinking, instead of cutting things. Because really the radiator's right in the way, right here with the fan. I think that's mounted to a bracket. Alright, there are a couple bolts holding this thing on. That's all broken anyway. Alright, let's see what's going on now. So I think if we get this radiator off, I think that differential could come off. So it looks like, let's see, 2 bolts right here. Get that out. So if this can move all the way off, we can get that out. So I think there's a couple bolts holding that on. Alright, I think this whole thing can come off. Yep. Oh, the whole forward's moving here. Looks like the radiator can come off too. Brackets on here. Oh, are you serious? Stupid thing. Close. Alright, this thing had a cable holding it on, but we finally got it out. Oh man. There it is. The front diff is out, finally. So, I think we can tear into this and hopefully get this stuck axle out. Alright, we got the front diff on the bench here. going to crack open the bolt right there, and we'll drain out the fluid in there, if there is any, into here. Alright, let's see if there's any fluid in there. Just gonna hold this up over it. Oh yeah, there's something there. Not a whole lot. Let's see if there's any coming out the back. That's the fluid that was in there. A little bit of oil. So all these bolts have to come off. We can split this and hopefully get in there and get this thing apart. It's corroded big time. Ooh, that broke in there. Darn it. Of course, the last one had to break. One broken bolt so far. I figured there'd be a lot more, so that's pretty good. Alright, so that's what that looks like. Not sure how that axle comes out of there. Alright, put that up to the side. There's that little piece. Don't know what that's for. And then there's a little bearing right in here that goes in the bottom. This whole thing comes up like that. Now let's see what the end of the shaft looks like. Because right now, I don't see any pins or anything. Does that come off? Nope. That spins with it. I don't know if we can push this thing out. I don't know. I think it's right here. Yeah, so we're gonna have to pound that out. We'll try that first. If we can't pound it out, we're going to have to press it out. But we risk cracking the whole case right here because there's a bearing in there that pushes against that as well. So we don't want to break the whole thing. And you can see the play wasn't actually in the shaft. It was in the bearing right here. So it's just locked in there. So no wonder we couldn't get this thing. See if that does anything for us. Looks like it's going down a little bit. Alright, we've got this punch with the rounded out edge here. So that fits right in there. Just gonna try to pound on this a little bit, see if it comes out or budges. Oh, it's moving. It's moving a little bit. I don't know if it's gonna break or what. Moved a little bit. It's not moving a whole lot. Yeah, it's not budging, the bearing's just moving. All right, we've got the 20-ton press. We are going to try to push this out. Hopefully it comes out without breaking the case here. If it does break the case, these are up for sale for about $375 on eBay. So it'll be a $375 mistake if we break the case. So hopefully we don't do that. But yeah, we will see. All right, we shortened up our little press thing here. Now this is going to go like so. I'm going to try to press that down. Let's see. That's pretty straight. Wish it was a little bit straighter. Alright, here goes nothing. Get behind this thing. Didn't even budge. All right, we shortened up the pin that we're pressing, so hopefully it's a little bit more stable. Right, here we go. We broke the pin. Yeah, we bent that. Oh crap, we bent that too. Got a little beefier pushing pin in there. Let's see what happens now. Alright. Full force ahead here. See what happens here. I don't know what's happening. Is it actually working? Alright, here we go. Not budging. Wow. That is not good. I don't want to break the case. That is not budging. Yeah, I didn't even budge. Didn't even budge. Oh boy. Alright, I just got done pounding on this thing with a 3-pound hammer. Probably 150 times. Didn't even budge. So, that slide hammer would have never gotten that out. We're just gonna hit this with penetrating oil. We're gonna let this thing sit overnight. And hopefully we come back and this thing will budge. But man, it is on there. It is so stuck. A 20-ton jack can't get it out, and a 3-pound hammer can't get it out. So hopefully penetrating oil will get it out. Alright, it's the next day. We let this thing sit overnight with penetrating oil in it, and it didn't move at all. So it's probably not getting any penetrating oil to it because it didn't go down. So that's not good. I was hoping that would seep down into the cracks, but apparently it did not. So we're just gonna hammer on this thing until it budges right now with a 3-pound hammer. I don't care if we have to break it. Splash right in my face. Hammer time. We're just gonna stick it in this hole and go to town. All right, we've got the air hammer here. Let's see how this goes. Not a single move on this thing. This is not moved at all. Look at that, still right where it was. That's crazy. The air hammer's never failed me before. So that thing must be stuck in there. The only other option I can see is cutting this off and pounding the bearing out through this way, which might work. I don't know if a sawzall is going to cut through this hardened steel though. Alright, so eBay actually sells the piece that the axle goes into, and it's actually cheaper than buying the actual whole unit. So we got a nitrous carbide cast iron thick metal blade here that we're going to try with the sawzall and see if we can make something happen here. We're going to try to cut this off right here and punch that bearing out through the other way. This was a $25 blade, no, $26 blade, so better work. Alright, so we're gonna go like that. We got this thing bolted to the table. Eye protection on. Let's see if we can cut. Just gonna put some oil on it too. Give it all the help we can, right? So, let's see what happens. Can't tell if it's cutting or not. I think it's going to break off now. Jeez. Whew. Cut right through that. That's crazy. That is some strong stuff. Look at that cut too. That is a clean cut. Wow. Didn't really damage it too much. Just a little bit off the top here, but nothing too serious. A lot of metal chunks everywhere, but better than I thought it would be. I think we can save it. I think this will pound right through. Yep. And then there's a seal. You gotta punch out right here. The shaft is officially out of the housing. That feels pretty good. All right, let's get this off of here. All right, let's see. So nothing's damaged in there. Really nothing's damaged there either. Still salvageable. So here's the part you can buy. You can buy this with the bearing on eBay. Let me pull up a listing and see how much they are, but yeah, that was never gonna come out. I mean, ever. It was basically welded in. All right, so here are the parts we're gonna need. That's this part. You can see it comes with the bearing. And see how the shaft goes into here. The splines. Yeah, that was welded in there. That was not coming out. So we'll get 2 brand new ones and then 2 brand new axles, and that will solve that problem. And then we're going to use tons and tons of lube on there so that never happens again. Also, shout out to Milwaukee Tools for making this carbide blade. This thing went through about an inch of solid hardened steel rod here. I mean, that's just crazy. So I went through that. I mean, it didn't take that long. So yeah, I guess that was worth the $26 this thing costs. All right, so next video, we're gonna get a couple new parts for the front diff, get this thing all back together, and hopefully have this thing all back together, working, running, driving, and we won't have to work on it ever again. So I'm just happy we got the axle out without breaking the diff. That was a miracle in itself. We pressed it, we pounded it, and then we used the saw and cut it. And this thing's still salvageable. So I am pretty happy about that. At least I don't have to spend 350 bucks for a new diff and plus probably new parts. I can just buy these 2 for 84 bucks, a couple seals, and a new axle, and put this thing back together, which is gonna be fun. It was definitely a project getting this thing apart, but we learned a lot in the process. And I learned that, you know, if it's stuck and not coming out with a slide hammer, it's probably never gonna come out. And like we saw, I mean, this thing is welded in. That thing was never gonna budge. So, yeah, next time, if I have a stuck axle, I'm just going right to taking out the diff, cutting it off, buying some new parts, and calling it a day. It would save me a lot of time. And hopefully this video helped you guys if you have the same situation. So anyway guys, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Stay tuned for the last part of the series coming up when we finally fix this front differential and get this machine back together. Stay tuned for next one, and until next time, we are out.